Hello. Hello, everyone. All of my amazing viewers, every single one of them. How's it going? Today is another great day to be streaming Professor Layton in the Diabolical Box. Indeed, yes, it is. But before we get into that, I guess I was a little bit curious to show off my Pokemon farm. Not that anything special has really happened, but listen here. I found out that there's like an add-on that you can have, the quality of life add-on. I think it's in here somewhere. User scripts. So it's in the farm options, user scripts, and the quality of life. And it's so nice. Here, whenever you try to go to somebody's party profile, it doesn't even show the bad berries, so you can just spam and spam interact. It's kind of cheesy, but it's useful. So, I don't really care that much. And there's a bunch of other things like in the shelter, it like puts them all like in their own thing, and it like you can set which ones you want to highlight. It's like, for example, here I have all the new eggs highlighted, which means the eggs that I already know what Pokemon they are, I can't, like, they don't glow or whatever. I guess technically you can also see like shinies or albinos, which I don't think is common, but apparently you can also search for specific types of like eggs or Pokemon or something. That's kind of cool. But anyways, I don't know. That's all. I just wanted to show that off because I thought it was a cool little feature. But that's not what I'm here to stream today. What I'm here to stream is the wonderful video game Professor Layton in the Diabolical Box, also known as Professor Layton and the Philosopher's Box. Maybe? Is that what it's called? I don't know why there's like such an adversity to. Oh, Pandora's Box. I keep forgetting. I don't know why they keep like renaming games between like Europe and North America. And like other things, right? There was like the Harry Potter, like Philosopher's Stone versus Sorcerer's Stone or whatever. Weird. You got Pandora's Box and Diabolical Box, and then the next two games also are renamed. So like the third one is Professor Layton and the Lost Future, and then in Europe, but then North America it's Professor Layton and the Unwound Future. And then in Europe, the fourth game is Professor Layton and the Spectre's Call. And then in North America, it's Professor Layton and the Last Spectre. So, I don't really know why that's a thing, but it is, I guess. So, yeah. What the heck? Okay, I'm getting spoiled. I'm spoiling myself. So let's not do that, and let's just play, right? I was reading some of the lore of the new game. I don't know why, I just figured it would be a fun thing to do. And it kind of was fun, but I spoiled myself slightly. Oh, here we are. Right. Okay, bonuses. What is the bonus? What did we get? What did we unlock? I got 11 hours and 46 minutes. I don't remember what my playtime was in the first game, but I feel like it was not this long. Oh, I have to beat the game. I see. So once I beat the game and I have a certain number of Pickerots, I'll get those special things. Okay. No new challenges. I don't feel like doing those challenges either, so let's just leave. Alright, that was a waste of time. But I guess I can check those again once I actually beat the game. I also know that there was like a secret in the first game. Once you beat this game, you could like enter some kind of code. That might have been a North America exclusive because the North American games came out a couple years after. I don't know. Anyways, get back on into it. Why not? Oh, I just realized there's Luke down there waving. I've never seen him before. Our story so far. Layton and Luke learn much about the Hertzen family from the museum and a recovered miner's log. This new information reveals several baffling facts. Driven to discover the truth about the Elysian box in full sense, the two set out for Hertzen Castle. That's it? They're not going to say what the facts were that they discovered? I thought those were kind of interesting. Whatever. Let me try to re-angle this so that it actually picks up my mouth movements. For some reason, it's not, like, picking up the fact that I'm talking. Maybe it's because I'm turned at a weird angle. I don't know. Let's recenter this. Maybe this will be better? Maybe? Maybe? Not really. It's okay. I'll just have to enunciate really well. Not that it really matters, doesn't it? Go up the elevator. Pick up this pipe. I do hope this isn't part of the lift. Yeah, I remember you said that last time. Oh.
Over here.
Oh, it's just hidden in the dirt. Sick. Thank you, B. Oh. Oh my god, this guy. This guy was in the first game as well. He was kind of weird. I don't know if I like him. Hola, friend son. Am I glad to see you? I was sure I'd never see another soul ever again. Hey, I know you. I was traveling El Mundo, and last thing I remember, I was in transito to Egypt. Tell me, Bitta, how long were these fine pyramids built? How long ago, maybe, is what he said. I didn't read very well. Sorry, sir, you're not in Egypt. Do you remember how you got here? I haven't the foggiest, senor. Un minuto, I'm heading for Africa. The next minuto, I'm down here. With no one around, I started poking at this thing to pass the time, and I think I broke it. Aïe! Help me fix it, s'il vous plaît. I have no idea how to say that. It's probably French. Balancing ornaments. Oh. Aha! Small ornaments dangle from a metal bar, and they've thrown the bar off balance. The 5 ornament strings are spaced equally apart, and each of the 3 types of ornaments weighs a different amount. The heaviest ornament weighs the same as 3 of the lightest ones, while a medium ornament weighs the same as 2 of the lightest ornaments. Place one of the 3 ornaments in the rectangle in the space marked with the question mark to restore the bar's balance. Okay. Is this like proper physics or not? Because proper physics would suggest that the ones toward the middle have less sway on the weight of the bar than the others. But let's just assume that's not how this goes. Okay. Interesting. So you got 2 circles and 3 moons. So if the moon is the medium, then this is like not possible. So the moon has to be light and the circle has to be medium, right? So this is going to be equal to 1 ornament, like 1 moon. Right, so these are 3 moons, these are 3 moons. These are 3 moons, and then this is 4 moons, so it's 1 moon. I don't know, I guess just for the sake of trying, let's say the moon is worth medium. So this would be 8, 3, 3. Oh, shoot. And then we'd want to put, oh wait, no, either way we'd want to put a moon. Because if the moon is worth 2, then we need to put it down anyways. I think the only way this isn't solvable is if the star is worth not 3, in which case it's like impossible. But I think no matter what, the moon is what we want here. It's interesting.
This should do the trick.
Wow, that was a really interesting puzzle.
Huh.
I'm
Wonderful.
surprised that they were able to come up with a solution like that. What? Oh. Stars equal to both of them combined. Did I do the puzzle wrong? I don't think so. Good job. The crescent moon ornament is just heavy enough to balance things out. A single star ornament weighs the same as one sun and one moon together. The strain of ornaments that is supposed to counterbalance the one with a question mark doesn't have any star ornaments, but if you compare the ornaments as shown above, you can figure out what should go in the question mark space regardless. Interesting. You know what? I wonder if they actually did do it like physics, where like the outer ones are heavier, but I just wasn't paying attention very well. Okay, well that was not a very well constructed puzzle, because I didn't actually get it right, but I still got it right. But I'll take it. Oh, wunderbar. A million arigatos. Mein Name ist. Now I can finally leave this musty tomb. Okay. I don't understand these recurring characters. Like, they're just in the games for fun, but they don't really do anything. It's kind of weird. We got 2 more diary entries left. We've solved 101 puzzles. That's actually it's quite a bit, really. We're definitely getting close. Oh. Oh, Mr. Layton. Hello, mister. What brings you to these parts? Well, to be blunt, sir, I've been doing a bit of spying on you for some time now. You've led quite the investigation, and it won't be long before it all snaps into focus for you. It is for that reason I feel I can no longer hide the truth of this place from you. Oh, okay. What is the truth of this place? What are you getting at, sir? Dark music? You've seen my studio. All those pictures of the town there. Those are pictures I took. The ones in the station are my work as well. Those photographs have held my interest for some time now. Oh, is it because they're really old? As they should. Mr. Layton, do you remember our last meeting in my shop? You pointed out a certain strange phenomenon occurring in photos taken within Full Sense. Yes, just one curiosity among the many we've seen in this town. It feels as though the whole of Full Sense conspires to keep a secret hidden from us. Your feeling is right, sir. You see, Full Sense is a cursed town. Cursed? To call it such may seem base, but I assure you the town's past is the very definition of that word. Perhaps the curse is a punishment we are meant to endure for the great mistakes of our past. But all nightmares eventually end, and I feel it won't be long now before we awaken. Huh? I encourage you to head to that castle in the distance and to meet with Duke Anton. Huh. Okay, well now I'm interested if, like, this is like a dream world or something. Maybe this place isn't actually real. It's all just a dream. That would be crazy. But they did fall asleep before coming here. Is this Anton, the eldest son of the previous Duke? He is. Duke Anton has presided over Herzen Castle since his father's passing some time ago. I served the Herzen family until that day 50 years ago when I left it all behind and fled. I don't think Anton will ever forgive me. You see, he's a man who abhors betrayal above all else. Probably because his wife left him. What transpired 50 years ago? The answers to all your questions can be found at the castle. I urge you to head there. Perhaps a voice of reason like yours might persuade Duke Anton to listen. If you believe it will settle the matter, we'll visit the castle. Yes. See with your own eyes what's become of this town. Perhaps then we'll finally reach the end of this dark tunnel we've been traveling through. This dark tunnel we've been traveling through? You mean the tunnel in the mountain? Because we're on a train? I believe our destination has chosen us this time. You know where we must go next, don't you? People we've talked to are scared to death of the vampire they say is living up in that castle. And that chat with the photographer only raises more questions. What happened 50 years ago? And what the heck is going on in that castle? Almost overnight, the Hudson family became incredibly wealthy when they discovered that gold claim. If we can understand the story behind that, our questions about the Elysian box will be answered. How are we going to get into the castle, Professor? I don't think it's the kind of place we can just waltz into. I thought by now you know exactly how to get in, Luke. What do you mean? We have to hide in the bushes and wait for the horse to pass by. Then we sneak in. The carriage tracks we saw on the road to the castle were still very fresh. It would seem that the carriage is bringing something to the castle every day. We need only follow the carriage to find our way to the castle. Oh, of course. That carriage is our ticket in. I told you. I mean, the NPC told me, but, you know. Now you've got the picture. I'm ready to go whenever you are, Professor. Just lead the way. Wait, what? How did we solve the goat emblem? Oh, okay. The symbol is actually a crest belonging to the family who once ruled Fulsense, the Hertzens. It's clear that the Hertzen family and the Elysian box are deeply connected to each other. True. Yeah, this has got to be some kind of dream world. Oh, it's this guy again. Hey, this fork in the road is my turf. What's the big idea? Oh well, since you came all the way here, why not try your hand at this puzzle I've got? Sounds good. Give me the puzzle. Disappearing Act 5. I don't want to freaking do this, bro. I'm basically stuck. Oh, God. I'm done. I don't want to do this puzzle. Some of these puzzles are really not fun. And they're just time consuming for the sake of being time consuming. I'm not doing those, okay? I have self-respect. I have dignity. I'm not going to do these puzzles that are going to take me 2 hours to solve just by guessing and checking. The gate is still shut tight. In order to get in, we'll simply have to wait for the carriage to arrive. Say, there's the carriage now! Quick, hide! Perfect timing. Nice job. There it goes. Get in, quick! The gate's open now. And we've escaped their detection. We're going to enter. Now is our only chance. Move quickly. Yeah. Hurry up, man. But let me check for hint coins first. All this ivy only makes the place seem more ominous. No hint coins? Ah, there was a hint coin. It seems to just get darker from here on in. Wild. Alright, well, let's go. You're sure that this forest is the only way to the castle, right? I'm not going to lie. This place is beyond spooky. It's me playing horror games. Luke, what's the matter? A ghost! It appeared just a second over there. Oh, Luke. You know that there are no such things as ghosts. Your eyes must be playing tricks on you. But I'm positive I saw it, Professor. Deep breaths, Luke. When on edge, even something as harmless as a gnarled tree can look like a ghost. I suppose so. We did see that the ghost was made up earlier in the photographer's hut. Feeling better? Good. Come along. You mustn't let the carriage get too far ahead. Okay, I guess there's no ghost, apparently. Layton's gaslighting. It's pitch black out here, Professor. Yes, without some sort of light, I don't believe we'll be able to advance. What do we have here? We're in luck, my boy. I think someone left a lantern here. Oh my god, okay, it's a puzzle. Light the forest 1. Use the lamps to light up the dark forest paths. For each lamp, assumes its light reaches to the end of any straight road. Use the fewest lamps possible to light all the paths. So where should the lamps go? Okay, so you need at least one here or one here, one here or one here, then one here or one here. Here's my guess. No, we need one up here as well. Oh wait, I'm stupid. It's supposed to be like this, isn't it? Okay, so I think it is here. And then it's maybe here, and then here, and then here? One on each row, one on each column, and then one on each of these diagonals. Makes sense to me.
Consider this puzzle solved.
Nice.
A true gentleman leaves no puzzle
20
unsolved.
picker up puzzle this late in the game. I'll take it. Good job. The paths were pretty creepy, but that was just because it was dark, right? I hate darkness as well. I'm kind of a scaredy cat, I won't lie. Ah, now we've got a light. Curious though, isn't it? Who would leave a perfectly good lantern out here? I can't imagine someone simply forgot it here. It's almost like someone is leaving a trail for us. Is it Flora? Did she come back from the dead? This place is spooky enough without that creepy statue. Oh, okay. We got a hint coin from a rock. Another hint coin from a rock. Oh, a hidden puzzle. Nope. This forest just goes on, and it's darker than ever here. Yes, but fortunately somebody left behind a second lantern. Let's see where we are. Oh, okay. Nope, there's just another puzzle for the second lantern. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think 5 is probably what we're looking at, right? So definitely here. Probably up here. And then here, here, and here. One in each column, one in each row, and then the diagonals. Perfect.
Let's see if this works.
It's really similar to the queen puzzle,
Piece of cake.
if anybody out there knows what I'm referring to. It's basically where you have to put the queens on the board, on a chessboard, so that they don't follow the same line of sight, essentially. They actually had that puzzle in the first game. So it's pretty interesting. There were a couple variations in the first game as well, which actually made it a little bit more difficult. Finally, some light. Now that the path is easy to follow, let's move ahead. Rather not. Even with the light, this forest is so creepy. Indeed it is, Luke. Indeed it is. Aha! Photograph. Okay, and there's just a mushroom there. Not out of place at all, in fact. Okay, we've only got 2 photos left. I wonder if I missed one somehow. I would hope not, but I wouldn't be too surprised if I did.
Just leave it to me.
I imagine I've been to every single location, at least after picking up the camera, so... There's just a tree stump missing.
Here goes.
Sick.
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake. Okay. Now for the last difference. I'm looking. It better not be some kind of like tree. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa, okay. There's an extra little
And
like
now to test my
leafy
theory.
area there. Cool.
A true
Not too
gentleman leaves
bad.
no puzzle unsolved.
And all the differences. Now there's a puzzle hidden somewhere. I was gonna say like Pizzle Hutton or whatever, I don't know. For hidden puzzle. Oh, okay, we found it. Oh look, I found a hidden puzzle. I think I like this more than the first game where there were literally just hidden puzzles, just like straight up. Well, I don't know. I'm okay with both, but the fact that there's like a little mini game in order to get them, I think is cool. It said that ancient peoples came up with constellations by staring up at the stars in the night sky. Here's a star-laden puzzle to celebrate their achievements. Below is a 6x6 grid of sky and stars arranged into 9 larger blocks. Yep. Move these larger blocks so that each row and column contains 3 stars. Blocks with no surrounding outlines can't be moved. Okay. Interesting. So... each row and each column. So this is the only solution here, because this row needs 2 and this row needs to have 1. And this is the only solution there. That works. This is close. What's the problem, though? Oh, never mind. This needs 2. Okay, there we go. And that's the solution. No, this isn't right either. Now this one needs an extra. Huh. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, cool.
This
A
should
little
do
bit
the
of guessing
trick.
and checking, but you know, I did try to puzzle it out at least a
True
little bit,
gentleman leaves no
especially near the
puzzle
beginning.
unsolved.
Brilliant. The constellation is a bit abstract, but oh well. Yeah, I guess. Don't really know what it's trying to be an image of, but that's okay. Phew, that wasn't easy. I thought he was about to say, phew, that was easy. I was gonna be pissed off. Oh, there were so many hit coins in here. And now we click on the mushroom, because, I mean, you have to, right? Look at this strange mushroom, Professor. It's the size of my head. Curious. I've never seen this type before. Let me study it just a moment before we move on. Oh my god, it's a puzzle. Layton loves his shrooms. Collect all of the mushrooms in this forest as you pass through. Each circular clearing on the map contains mushrooms. You don't want to spend too long in this creepy forest, though, so find the quickest route through that visits each clearing only once. Stay on the roadways. Okay. So this is where we need to end up. I know that for sure because I'm now aware of how to solve these. Which is that you need to finish in the area that has an odd number. Oh, this isn't right though. This ain't right. Oh, it's actually low key a little bit difficult. Okay, well, let's track some of these routes. Alright, so like this is basically the only way that can happen. And then these have to connect like that. Which means that has to connect there, which means this connects here. And these connect like this. Aha. Which means this has to go. Wait. Is this right? Wait, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm crazy, actually. This doesn't seem right to me. Okay, it might not actually be the case that you need to visit here last. Right, because you don't need to end here, you need to end here. I'm so silly. I was completely wrong then. It's okay. These are still true because there's only 2 pathways. So you still need to go like this. Means that this either has to go... No, this has to go up, right? Which means this is the goal. Like this. Like 2 paths leading out of here. This is the only one there. Boom, 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 boom. Cool. Okay. That was a bit of a tough one, but we made it in the end.
Here goes. Layton's apprentice strikes again.
That one reminds me a lot of this mobile game that I have called like Hashi, maybe? Which is basically like you've got all of these circles and you can connect the circles to other circles. You can create 2 links between circles, and then the number on the circle is however many links total there are going out of it. So it's like, you know, 1 to 8 or whatever. Anyways, it's an interesting little puzzle game. It reminded me of that because you kind of had to like figure out where the possible links were. Now that your curiosity is satisfied, can we please move on, Professor? That's it? Okay. This mushroom's got poison written all over it. What happens if we try to move forward right now? Oh. Okay. It worked. Let's figure out what the deal is with this lantern then. Professor, I hate to say it again, but I think we need a little more light out here. Alright, let's see if we can't use this lantern to get back our bearings. Please do. Light the forest 3. There are now 6 rows and 6 columns. Okay. Interesting. So... it's got to be like this. Right? And then... these are going to be opposite to each other. I think it's got to be like this. And then like this. And then like this. It seems right to me. 6 rows, 6 columns, and then the diagonals. Just double checking to make sure I'm not missing anything like a fool, but you know what? Screw it, we're going in.
Just leave it to me.
Sweet. It's actually like
Layton's
the easiest way to
apprentice
solve
strikes
those is by
again.
looking at the diagonals. 'Cause you just have to figure out like which ones go where on the diagonals, and the rest of the puzzle becomes pretty simple. Because you don't want to put any lanterns on like the same row or same column. Right. I think I mentioned that before. Yay, I can see again. That's much better. Poor Luke. Alright, let's get out of here. And now what? Why did it get so chilly? Indeed. It's so cold out here that the lake is frozen over. Oh, really? Okay. I thought it was just a normal lake. Oh, I have an idea for a shortcut. What, jump over a frozen lake? You know that's extremely deadly, right, Layton? Like, you could die walking over a frozen lake. This guy pisses me off sometimes. Alright. The lake in front of the professor is frozen solid. The ice is thick enough to stand on, but so slippery that any movement in any direction causes him to slide uncontrollably in that direction until he hits a wall. When stationary, you can change the professor's direction by tapping the arrows around him. Can you guide the professor through this slippery lake to the goal? So this is actually a take on a pretty famous puzzle. And this puzzle was actually in the Pokemon games as well, which is kind of cool. But the question is how to solve it. So the main thing that you want to figure out first is the way to get into the goal. The only way to get into the goal is here, right? You have to go here on this spot and then go up, because you have to be against a wall in order to move in a specific direction. The only other way would be here, but there's no way to get here. So it has to be here. And the only way to get here from a wall would be one of these two walls, right? Because the alternative is down here, which is not possible. So you either need to be on one of these two walls or one of these two walls. But the issue is that I don't think it's possible to get to here. So it has to be here, but that doesn't really make much sense either to me. Aha, I've got it. Never mind. It is totally possible to get here because you just need to get here. To get here, you need to get here. To get here, you need to get here. It's actually simple. Nice.
Consider this puzzle solved.
Nice job, Layton.
And there we have it.
And there we have it. Phew, that was super slippery, but you can't stop now. I remember one time I went sledding in the snow, and I went down this hill, and they had like hay bales at the bottom of the hill to make sure you didn't like slide off the hill and like go onto the lake. The lake was frozen solid, but still. And I guess I just went so fast that I went like way past. I slammed into the hay bales, blew past them, and then fell onto the lake. It's pretty wild. The lake did not break, which was very fortunate because it could have been pretty dangerous, I guess. But you know, it was chill. I was cruising. A crossing went as well as could be hoped for, but we can't stop here. Off we go. Alright, Luke seemed pretty excited about that. I guess he thought it was pretty fun. What the heck? What is this? Whoa! Watch your step here, Professor. It's nothing but ice. Yeah, there's also like a giant pillar of ice in the middle of the lake for some reason. There's no snow for us to walk on here, so we'll need to tread carefully. Here goes. Aha, another ice puzzle. Alright, a similar logic applies. Here, here, or here. Here is not possible, so it has to be here, which can be gotten to from here or here. But here you can't get to, so it's gotta be here. To get here, it's either here or here. I think this is the only way, which means this is the only way, which means this is the only way. Wait, that doesn't seem right. Oh no, it is right. Is it? From here. Aha. So we go right up there. Nice. Oh wait, we can't do that. Oh my gosh, I'm so silly. But we do need to get down here, right? Okay, we do need to get down here somehow. So from here... Where do we... So we're gonna go up here. And then we can go around, like this. There we go. Okay, it's so convoluted. It's great, I love it. That's why these types of puzzles are pretty easy, because you can completely reverse engineer the solution, right?
Piece of cake.
I mean, reverse engineering is the easiest way to solve most puzzles. You made it! Feel like you're getting the hang of these puzzles? Well, just the same, if you ever come across a frozen lake in real life, be sure to keep off it. Those things are dangerous. Is that why Layton is telling Luke to walk all over it? He's a thrill seeker. Well done. It's a miracle we both made it across without taking a tumble. I sense we're getting close, Luke. Let's keep moving. Bruh.
Found one!
Oh. Thank you. Are they, like... I'm so confused. I don't need to keep doing these puzzles, I guess, if I don't want to, do I? But I will, because they're fun. Here we are, facing another frozen lake. It appears to be the only way across, so here we go. Yeah, looks like we gotta do this again. Okay. So now there's two possibilities on how to get here, actually. Which one? Oh wait, this one's not possible. Never mind, so it's only here. And now there's two possibilities, here or here, but this one's not possible, so it's gotta be here. Right. Okay, you know what it is? I think it needs to be opposite sides. Or it has to be opposite orientation planes. That's the only way to actually make it work. But now there's two options. It's either here or here. I guess I could trace it out. Make it easier to follow. It's here or here. Okay, so that works. Oh wait, this also works. Whoa, that's a nice little shortcut, actually. I was thinking of going all the way up here. Oh wait, I'm so silly. This is not the point. The point is right here. We need to get here. Go down here. Right? Oh my god, okay, I'm bad. I'm bad. Just ignore everything I've ever done in my life. I'm pretty sure this is it. Down, up. Okay. I don't know what happened there, but we got it. So, I'll take it.
A true gentleman leaves no puzzle unsolved.
Excellent. Be glad the professor isn't a champion ice skater. Sure, you'd have an easier time moving around on the ice, but then you'd be out of a puzzle because of it. That's so true. We wouldn't have any puzzles to solve if the professor was great at everything. We made it across. Now we've just a short distance left to cover, and we'll be there. No more ice puzzles. Feels bad. You know what? I'm actually curious. Was there another light puzzle if I clicked on this again? Nope. I don't care if we have extra light. This place is still creepy. Alright, let's go. Let's go to the castle. Oh my god. I did not take this in the first time I got here. That flag looks like a ghost. I guess so. It reminds me of Howl's Moving Castle. I actually like that movie a lot. That flag looks like a ghost. This place is weird. Professor, are you sure it's safe to cross this thing? This is just like Shrek. This game ripped off Shrek. It looks a bit rickety. I mean, I'm sure that trope was done before Shrek, but... Safe enough, I believe. Are you frightened, Luke? A little, yes. I mean, just look. If I fell, that'd be the end of me for sure. Also, there's no guardrails, and it's really old, and some of the planks are missing. And they're lopsided. Now, Luke, it may seem scary, but if you stay calm and keep moving forward, you'll be just fine. Here, try this puzzle. It will help take your mind off our little trip across the chasm. Somehow I don't think that it will, but... Oh, a puzzle about walking across a chasm. Thank you a lot, Professor. That is just fantastic, really. I'm so glad. Luke and Professor Layton stand at one end of a rickety old bridge. Afraid of falling into the chasm below, Luke's legs have become stiff with fear, and he can only walk across the bridge in increments of 1 or 3 planks at a time. The narrowness of the bridge prevents Luke from doubling back the way he came or switching the foot he's using to step forward while standing on it. Use your stylus to create a path that guides Luke safely across the bridge while avoiding any gaps in the planks. Okay. So this has got to be right, and then 1, 2, 3, left, and then right, left, right, left, right, left. And then, yeah, it's the only way. Bam, 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 bam. Sweet.
Consider this puzzle
Reverse
solved.
engineering. Told you.
Ha! Wonderful.
That was some fancy footwork. If the 9th step you choose takes Luke to the goal, make sure that the last step you put down allows Luke to step forward with his left foot. I mean, I already solved the puzzle, but thank you, I guess. Well, I suppose I feel a little better, but this bridge still makes me nervous. They haven't even started crossing yet. You already solved the puzzle and they haven't even started crossing. Also, the puzzle's literally about, like, not falling off a bridge, or at least trying not to. Look at the city down below. This reminds me of the first game. I don't know what the deal is, though. The Harrison should have invested a little of that legendary wealth into repairing this ratty bridge. True, or just, like, you know, build a good bridge. Wow, this place is even creepier looking up close. Feeling nervous again, are you? Yeah, there's supposed to be a vampire in here, bro. I ain't trying to die. Not in the slightest. Let's go, Professor. Walks in, dies to a trap, Dark Souls style. Gah, somebody help me. Oh my god. What seems to be the problem, sir? There's a vampire in that castle. I thought I was a goner, but I managed to give him the slip. A real vampire? I didn't stick around to check his fangs, sonny boy. I've got to get away from here. Ah! So what do you think about all this vampire business now, Professor? We have a witness. Rumor does seem to have spread throughout the population of Folsons. Well, do you think maybe it could be, you know, more than a rumor? You stupid old hag? That's what we're here to find out. What do you call, like... Isn't a hag supposed to be like a female term? What's like an old dude that's stupid and annoying and weird and creepy and old? Is there a term for that person? That's what we're here to find out. Just a few more steps and we'll find our answer ourselves. Ooh, okay. Saving our progress. I feel like it's been a while since the game has asked me to do that. Oh my gosh. What is this? An encounter at the end of the line, chapter 7, and this like splash art for the chapter is Professor Layton sword fighting against Anton, and Layton has like one hand in his pocket. This is insane, bro. These games make no goddamn sense. It would appear you solved at least 80 puzzles. I commend your perseverance and proclaim you worthy of entrance to this castle.
Welcome.
That's insane. And it does look like a vampire, doesn't it?
Sorry to intrude, but we are investigating an important antique. This box we have here. The emblem on its lid seems connected to your house in some way. Would you have time to answer a few questions?
God, when the cops pull up. I'll take that as a no.
I think this matter would best be addressed by the master. Please, come inside.
The heck? Sorry, I'm looking at my water bottle. I guess you're supposed to clean water bottles every now and then, I guess. That way they don't get, like, you know, moldy from all the friggin' water they hold. Just making sure mine is fresh. Oh, animated cutscene. I kind of wish Flora was here, but, you know.
Wow, this place is really something else.
Indeed, Luke. This castle is extremely impressive.
Right this way, please.
Sir, you're gonna have to speak up when delivering your lines, please. I don't get paid enough for this.
Good evening. Welcome to my house. So, if I understand correctly, you're saying people fear the box because they believe it kills anyone who opens it. That's quite a story, isn't it?
It seems that the design on this box is connected to your family in some way.
He does seem like a
Can you
killer.
tell me anything about this?
It's true that it was a Herzen family heirloom. Although I parted with it a number of years ago, the garish emblem you mentioned wasn't exactly, suited to my taste.
Obama
Personally,
reference?
I think it's quite spectacular.
Oh, is that so? Well, chalk it up to my bad taste then.
You know, I don't think he's telling us the whole story.
Perhaps not. It's hard to say just yet.
Good observation, Luke.
I'm sorry I'm not much help, though I confess, visitors are always delightful. I'm sure you've had a long journey, so please do stay the night.
It's a loud car outside.
Prepare the quarters for our guests, Nigel.
Do you get visitors often?
Yes, right away, master.
What was that smirk? Prepare the rooms, you say? Wow, this is the poshest room I've ever seen. It's a room befitting the wealthiest and most influential family of Folsense. I have a hard time believing a place as pretty as this has a vampire lurking about it. I guess not. Oh, you never know, Luke. Maybe Anton himself is a vampire and you just haven't realized it yet. Anton? No way. He seemed like a perfectly nice guy to me, you stupid little professor. I hate you. You're so jealous. I want to be Anton's apprentice cell. Couldn't even get that one out. Wait a second. I thought you didn't believe in vampires. Are you pulling my leg? I hate you, Professor. You're stupid. But there is something strange going on here, now that you mention it. Remember that picture we saw in the Herzen Museum? Anton was in it, wasn't he? Uh-huh. Thing is, even though the photo was taken 50 years ago, Anton doesn't look a day older. So it's been bothering you too, has it? I can't quite understand how it could be possible. It's especially odd given that Mr. Beluga has clearly aged since the picture was taken. It's something about this town, man. It's frozen in time. I don't know how or why, but it is. It would seem that both Anton and his castle warrant further examination. There's that famous latent intuition acting up again. I suppose you could say that, though I'd hardly call it famous. Only famous to one person, who is my self-proclaimed rival. Why don't we start our exploration of the castle with this room? Good idea. Let's get to it. Sure thing. Found a hint coin. Found a puzzle. That is a fascinating painting. Have you ever seen such a convincing illustration of a gala? Oh, shoot. Anton? Or was that Sophie, I wonder? From what we've seen of this castle, I'm certain the ball was extremely opulent. Why, it's gotten late. It's time for a quick puzzle, and then it's off to sleep, alright? Well, I thought we were supposed to explore this room. The strange painting. Oh shoot, the puzzle's about the actual painting. Okay. The couple in this piece seem to be dancing high in the air, floating impossibly near the chandelier, but as it turns out, when viewed properly, there's nothing strange at all about the picture. If you look closely enough, one peculiar area of the painting hints at the reason the whole picture seems so odd. Find that peculiar area and circle it to learn the truth. Okay.
Here goes.
Wow, amazing. It was a reflection on the ground. Nice eye. The couple seem to be the only two people with a visible reflection on the floor. It seems that the scene in this painting isn't of the ball itself, but rather of its reflection on the ballroom floor. Perhaps the young couple out on the floor looked so happy together that the painter didn't want to ruin their dance by staring straight at them. Okay. Sure. It really is a magnificent picture. Oh, what's this? Luke, tell me, did these two look familiar to you? It looks like Anton, and is that Katya? Wait, no. No, that's not Katya. That's not Katya. That's Katya's grandmother, Sophie. Right? That's why they look similar, because they're related, but that's not her. Sophie left Anton to leave the town and then grow old and die. That's what happened. Right? Because the journal, the diary belongs to Anton. And he was like betrothed to this young lady, and then she left. And he became depressed. I got it. I solved it. The lighting in here is so relaxing. I say, look at this picture, Luke. Is that full sense there? Yes, it is. I think so. The artist's inscription down here says that this painting is 50 years old. It looks pretty much the same as the full sense outside our window, though. What are you thinking, Professor? Oh, it's nothing. I was just pondering something. My, it's gotten late. It's been quite a day for us, so perhaps it's time to turn in. Yeah, I could use some sleep. Good night, Professor. And they wake up and Anton's in their room with the sword about to chop Layton's head off. Okay. Oh. That does look a bit like Katya, doesn't it? Oh my god, wait, they got transported into the painting. What?
What? Professor, is that Katya?
I wonder if maybe it's not time, maybe it's like memories or dreams or something. Oh wait, no, I was talking about dreams. I don't freaking know. It's Inception.
Fear not, my dear. They're just the main course for this evening.
Maybe that is
my,
Katya.
Don't they look fresh?
Oh my god. What is going on? Are we gonna have an escape sequence? What?
Oh, lovely. You're awake. It's been far too long since I've encountered prey so feisty.
Okay.
Anton! What sort of madness is this?
He's so pissed off. He really didn't expect this, Layton. He's a vampire, bro.
I knew it! You are a vampire!
Okay, how are we gonna MacGyver ourselves out of this?
Well, if that's the case, it was rather foolish for you to venture here, wouldn't you say? But I'm afraid it's too late now. I must begin preparations.
What are the preparations? To suck their blood.
In the meantime, why don't you just stay put and enjoy each other's company? After all, it'll be your last chance.
Oh man. Oops, I forgot to read it. Or read it out loud. Luke said something like, "Did you hear that, Professor? He's gonna eat us." I don't know, something like that. And Layton says, "Luke, listen to me. Take a deep breath and collect yourself." But there's no cause for worry, my boy. Whoever tied these ropes did a poor job. With a little work, I may be able to get free. It's a puzzle. And this is why we solve puzzles. Okay, what? A man sits bound by a long length of rope among several posts. While he has no hope of untying his bond, he can still move his legs. Were he to stand up and run away, his long trail of rope looks like it might catch on at least one of the posts. He'll need to use his legs to pull up any post that prevent him from running away before he can dash off. Mark any post that prevent the man from running away. I think? I think it's only these. Because this is inside. And then once this is removed, all of this is inside these posts. Then once this is removed, all of these are inside this post. So then it's just about this, but this goes around here. And then, yeah. I think it's just those two.
Consider this puzzle solved.
What?
Well, I
Too
suppose
bad.
you can't
Really
win
study
all.
how that rope is looped around the stakes. Fine. Okay, now I'm curious if maybe this isn't even a blocker. Maybe it's just this one.
And now to test my theory. Well,
Layton, you
I
madman.
suppose that's one
Just tell me how to
eliminated.
escape. Your best bet is just to look at the rope. Man only needs to remove a single post. What? Only a single post and this one isn't it? Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Wow, that's amazing. Okay.
Consider this puzzle solved.
Wow, that's crazy that the bottom left one doesn't
Leaves
block
no
it.
puzzle unsolved.
Yeah, it's literally just that one. Because I guess even though this one loops around, it doesn't really loop because it kind of like just loops back, right? So it doesn't actually get stuck on that peg. You did it! Mark the area encircled by rope, and all of a sudden this puzzle gets a lot easier. There's only one post that needs to be removed for the man to make his getaway. He'd better hurry up and get that post loose. Aha! We're finally free, but there's no time to stand around. We must find a way out, and quickly. Just grab an axe and kill him. That's what I would do. There's some rather dangerous items around here. Indeed, there are. I'm sure glad I didn't get locked up in a pair of these. Some people would be into that, Luke. I do hope there's an innocent explanation for that stain. Probably not. Alright, another puzzle. Oh no, we're locked in! There's no place to run! Calm yourself, Luke. There's bound to be another way out of this room. Look around you. I can see the key. If only I could reach it. Here, let's see if I can't reach it. I am taller than you after all. Why is the key inside the room? Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. The key to the door is sitting behind a number of blocks. Slide the key out toward the professor's hands. The two can make their escape. No, this does not work. There we go. Okay. Wait, this didn't work either. What about like this? It's gonna work? Not really, does it? Oh! Okay, but now what? Now we've got to like get this thing out of here. Huh. We're so close. And yet so far. Hmm. I really don't know what to do here. Oh god, these slidey puzzles, man. This is a 60 picker up puzzle too. What if we go the opposite direction? How does this work out? Okay, so which way should we put it? Let's try doing it this way. Let's see if this works. So we do the key first. I think this is the same that we get stuck in last time. No, it's even worse. It even works, there's even less room. So I think we actually want to go this way, like I did previously. And let's try putting the green block first. Wait, that doesn't work. Maybe it has to be like this. Then what? Let's try this again. I This time we're going to do the green block first. And see how that affects it. It didn't affect it at all. Maybe we're just supposed to leave this in there. Until now. This feels pretty similar to what we've had before. Oh god, okay. I mean, there's no other way to begin this puzzle, right? I'm not crazy. Hold on. Maybe there is. But like... now we're just in like the same situation that we were before, right? Oh man, I remember in the first game I literally spent like, I don't even know. It must have been an hour or something on one of these puzzles. It was so silly. Oh my gosh. Is this it? And now we reverse it? Wow, okay. That makes more
Consider
sense.
This puzzle solved.
That is
A true
nice.
gentleman leaves no puzzle unsolved.
Great work. Now Luke and Professor Layton can finally leave the room. Complete and total accident, but I'll take it. There we are. The door is unlocked now. Freedom is ours, Luke. That one did not take me an hour, so I'll take that for sure. You got a diary key. Each key unlocks another old diary chapter. And there's only one chapter left that we need to unlock. We really don't want to take the axe, huh? Leave the castle. Where did we just come from? This door won't budge. But I don't see any kind of lock on it. Good point. This door must be controlled by some sort of device positioned elsewhere. Let's head down from here and see what else is around. Okay, this is the room we were trapped in. We don't want to take a weapon for self-defense. And what's in this door? I've never seen such an immense boiler before. This must be the castle's main power source. For some reason, though, it's not currently in use. And what do you make of the other machines here? They're also gigantic. Were I to venture a guess, I'd say this equipment was used to mine gold in the area. It's likely the same equipment they used to create that large hole in the castle's flooring. Okay, I did not even know that was a thing, but sure. So that's why this place is so drafty. Yes, I remember reading in like it was either the journal, the old diary, or it was one of the journals that we found in the mine that was like, there's literally just a giant hole underneath the castle because they were digging for gold for so long. And it felt like the castle would just collapse at any moment. Oh, look at that bizarre smoke coming out of the hole. Don't get too close to it, Professor. I bet breathing it is probably terrible for you. Whoever broke the ground here must have known the machinery inside and out. One misplaced scrape of the shovel could have sent the whole foundation crashing down. Not to be rude, but I don't think we really have the time to admire the miner's handiwork. Oh yes, quite right, my boy. I believe we can open the door above us if we get this boiler up and running again. Let's do it. Okay, which valve do you need to open to send steam from the boiler into 2, but not 1 or 3? Okay, so you want to avoid this path entirely. Pretty much. What? Okay, so don't open this. And don't open this. And then don't open this and don't open this. We need to open either this one or this one at a minimum. Good, okay. Here. I think that works, right? Oh yeah, we also don't want to open this one. Okay, so it's just open this one, open this one, open this one. Easy.
Let's see if this works.
40 picarettes.
That was almost too easy.
Vaporific. You only need to open 3 valves to direct steam to 2 and not 3 or 1. Easy. Good work, my boy. Now upward and outward. I don't see any other way out of here. For some reason, this reminds me of that scene from Akira where they're riding on like the bikes. I guess they're not bikes, but you know, the floating things. The jets. The jet bike, floating bike, hover bike, hover jets, something like that. Taking a photo of this location, something about it seems a bit off. Indeed it does. Let's check it. Still one more photograph left, and it's photograph number 1, which concerns me.
This should do the trick.
This should do the trick.
And there we have it.
And there we have it. Okay. Any missing axles in the water wheel? Or whatever this wheel is? No. The light's the same. This stuff is the same. Alright, this one's really annoying. There's so many like random objects on the ground that are not important. Like the fact that I spotted that lever immediately is a miracle. Because none of these other things are going to be possible to spot. Screw you, game. Wow. This handrail is longer on the bottom one. That's insane.
Let's see if this works. That was almost too easy.
Please don't say that, Luke. You're tilting me. Okay. Last difference. What could it be? I'm looking at the ceiling, I'm looking at the ground, looking at the walls. I'm yawning because I'm tired. Tired of this BS. Thought I found it for a second. And then I looked again and I realized I was wrong. Often how it goes. Got it. Crooked handrail.
Consider this puzzle solved.
Sweet.
Ha! Wonderful.
Now there's a hidden puzzle somewhere. There it is. Oh, hey, a hidden puzzle. Sorry I keep yawning. I don't know what's going on with me. The frogged path. A frog sits perched on the space labeled S in the diagram below. This little guy has an unusual jump. His first jump travels 1 space, his second jump travels 2 spaces, and his third jump travels 3 spaces. After his third jump, he repeats this pattern. The frog can't change his direction mid-jump, but he can turn around in between jumps. The frog's goal is to move through the path below and land exactly on the space marked G. What is the fewest number of jumps he needs to make to do this? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, that doesn't work, does it? Huh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, did I miscount before? God, I got stuck again. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my God. Okay, I'm not counting. I'm not actually counting. I'm going crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12. No, this is... Am I insane? Like, he can't... So maybe I'm operating under a false assumption, but my guess is that he can't jump more than, like, what he has to, right? So, like, if he was here and he had to jump 3 spaces, he couldn't just land here. He'd have to jump 3, which is actually not possible in this location. I assume that that's a dead end solution. But I don't know, maybe it's not. One, two, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. No, this doesn't work. Doesn't work. 2, 1, 2, 3. I don't get it. How are you supposed to get here? One, 1, 2. So you need to land here on 3, or you need to land here on 2. You can go 1, 2, 3, right? Or here. Okay, that was not good. But you get the idea. So either land there on 2 or land there on 3. To land there on 2, you need to be down here at 1 or here at 1. I mean, 3, 1. I'm so stupid. Why am I thinking 2 and 1? It needs to be 1, then 2. 1, then 2, or 3. So you need to land here on 1 or land here on 3. So 1 would be here, and 3 would be here. Okay, 3, 1, 1. We're going to reverse engineer this because I talked so much about it earlier. Which means you either need to be on here on 2, here on 2, or here on 1 and here on 1. No, no, no. No, 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 no. Here on 3 means you need to be here on 2. And that's it. Erase these. Oh my god. Okay. 1, 1, 3. Means you would need to be here on 2. Or here on 3. 2, 3. No, 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 no. What am I saying? I'm so bad. I don't... Okay. I need like a bigger screen, right? 3 or 1. Okay, let's try the 3 route. So if you want to land here on 3, you need to land here on 2, and then here or here on 1. Which would require you to be here on 3 anyways, or here on 3. Which means you need to be here on 2, here on 1, here on 3. Alright, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. What? No. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yes, okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. No. Why am I annotating this weird? One or 1 means 2. Means you're landing on here on 3 or here on 3. Like, we already know that. Like, is that even possible? Oh, what? I think I did it. Okay, so 1. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 12. Okay, it's either 18 or 17. I kind of lost count, but I don't really care. I'm just gonna... How's that a 1? I'm just gonna put my answer in here, and I'm just gonna hope.
And now to test my theory.
Okay. I'm gonna put 17 instead.
Well.
I think I might have
suppose
accidentally
you've
counted an
counted
extra
them all.
step. Like a fool. But I think it's either 18 or 17. If it's not, then I really don't understand the puzzle.
This should do the trick.
I am a
This is
fool.
quite formidable.
I am a fool. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Need to backtrack a total of 2 times? That's it? No. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. Oh my god, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't know how I didn't see that solution before, but I'm just gonna move on because that is
Consider this puzzle solved.
quite unfortunate that I am so
And
bad
there we have it.
at solving puzzles. That's the way to do it. As shown in the diagram, if you think to make the frog jump back the way he came twice, he can make it to G in 12 hops. I'm so bad, man. Phew, that one was a lot of work. Yeah, it was. Too much work. Please, don't do that ever again. So, now what? I forgot that was a hidden puzzle. I hate my life. By the look of it, this boiler has been out of commission for quite some time. This was the other hidden thing. That was the hidden thing. That was the puzzle. Okay. Yeah. How do we get across? Okay. I'm afraid of heights as well, if you're curious.
Jackpot!
Okay, so we can't activate the boiler from here, I guess. Means we need to go... Oh, wait. Can we? What? I don't know what we're supposed to do. Let's go up here. Okay, the door's open now. Because we unlocked it with the boiler, I guess.
Over here.
Some coal, some blocks. There's this thing. Harry Potter's living there. This door's shut tight too. This door serves as the only portal out of here. We'll need to open it to escape. Let's do it. A magic lock. Oh my god, is it a magic square? It seems that the lock here is some sort of magic square. In order to solve it, position the remaining numbers so that each string of 4 vertical, horizontal, and diagonal numbers adds up to the same total. Solve the magic square to open the door. Okay. 72. That's total. 72 divided by 4. 18? So each of these rows and columns and diagonals needs to add up to 18. Oh wait, I could have figured that out just by counting this up. Yeah, 7 plus 11, 18. Okay. This is 8 plus 4. It's 12, so you need to add a 6 here. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 5 is 11, so you need to have a 7 here. 13 plus 3. This is 3. And now we're in a tough spot. These are solved, but now we need to figure out the rows here. So this adds up to 6, so we need a total of 7. So that's 8 and 4. Was it like this? Okay. It wasn't that tough, I guess. That's pretty easy.
A true gentleman leaves
Bitty
no puzzle
Piggerots. That
unsolved.
took me 1% of the time it took me to solve the frog puzzle. Very nice. Each horizontal, vertical, and diagonal line of 4 tiles adds up to 18 when placed in the correct positions. Now onward to freedom. Luke, the vent is open now. Follow me. Am I gonna beat this game today? I don't know if I should keep playing until I beat it. 'Cause I don't know how far away I am. Oh, okay. Nigel's there. Do we need to run away from this guy? He is a servant of the vampire, isn't he? I can't believe there's not a single wrinkle on this tablecloth. Take care that you don't slip, Luke. The floor is polished to an almost blinding shine, and it reeks with blood. Wow, you're right. It's like a mirror. Who do you think does all this polishing? Well, that would be me, sir. Unc, it's the butler. Yes, I most certainly am. I don't mean to be presumptuous, but what are you two doing up at this hour? If you're having trouble falling asleep, I suggest a good, strong puzzle to clear and relax the mind. You're not going to try to stop us or anything? Stop you? Young sir, I haven't the foggiest notion what you're talking about. Now, where was I? Ah yes, that puzzle. This hall has been fitted with a hidden door, though to my chagrin I've forgotten where. However, I do recall an old saying the servants used in days past to remember the location of the door. I will now relate to you that saying, and your task, dear guests, will be to decipher the door's location. I wonder if Anton made their rope loose on purpose, so that they could escape. Maybe this whole thing is to test someone who's worthy of inheriting the Elysian box. Begin from the doors etched in the decor. A path will appear strong and quite clear, made of stars that flare, each within its own square. These words are said to point the way to the hidden door. Select the hidden door. Okay.
Consider this puzzle solved.
Nice. That was quite the puzzle there. 40 pick-ups, that one. Excellent. The squares with stars contained neatly inside them form an arrow that points directly to the hidden door. That's a pretty nifty saying, I guess. Masterfully solved, sirs. Now that you've completed that little nightcap, might I suggest returning to your quarters before I drain you of all your blood? These old halls can get quite drafty in the dead of night. I'll keep that in mind. Good night to you. And to you too. Okay. The exit is directly behind you, dear guests. Good to know. I guess I should run away. Let's run away.
Found one!
Bro, I was clicking on there, man. Give me a second, B. Anything? Anything at all? There's nothing? Nothing at all. Okay. Oh. Professor, I think I see a way we can get out of here. Our search led us to this castle, and we're on the verge of revealing what killed Dr. Schrader. We must search this place thoroughly before we can make our escape. Let's see what else is here. Gee, Professor, I don't know if that's a good idea. Luke, listen to me. We can't turn back and run. Not now. We're so close to uncovering the truth about full sense in the Elysian box. We must press on, even if it costs you your life. You mean us, right? No, Luke, I mean you and your life. Or is this gonna be chapter 8? It's not, okay. Take a look at this picture, Professor. There he is, larger than life. Grand Master of Herzen Castle. You mean the guy who just tried to tie us up and drink our blood? Strange. What's strange, Professor? This picture. It shows far too much wear to have been made recently. Yet you saw Anton yourself. The man and his portrait are virtually identical. If he doesn't age, he must really be a vampire. I knew it! We need to get out of here this instant. Perhaps those rumors in the town weren't entirely unfounded. But running about in a panic has never solved anything. Why don't we take a moment to clear our heads with this puzzle about portraits? Are you kidding, Professor? I don't think we really have the time for this right now. Layton doesn't care. Layton does not care at all. Okay, it's time to do puzzles. Two brothers have inherited their parents' 5-piece art collection. According to the will, the older brother will get a set of paintings worth twice what the younger brother gets. In order to ascertain the value of the paintings, the brothers called in an appraiser, who valued each painting as shown below. For his services, the appraiser was promised the one painting left over after the brothers divided the art according to their parents' wishes. Assuming that individual paintings can't be divided, which one does the appraiser get? Huh. Okay. So it has to be divisible by 3. The total has to be divisible by 3. What is the actual current total? So 180 plus 95 is 275,000. 275. Yeah, 275,000. This is not divisible by 3. If we subtract 20,000, it's 255,000. That is divisible by 3, but are the paintings actually worth that much? No. We get 100,000 and then we get 150-something thousand. That's not good enough. We need to get rid of something bigger. So 45,000. We then have 230,000, which is also not divisible. 55,000, you get 220,000, which is not divisible. You remove 6,000, you have 215,000, which is not divisible. If you remove 90,000, or 95,000, excuse me, then you're left with 180,000. Wait, you know what? I'm so silly. 255. What is 255 divided by 3? Does this work? 255 divided by 3 is 80 something. No, that doesn't work. Because if you subtract 95, then you're left with 180,000. So he gets these. Interesting. So the appraiser actually gets the most expensive one.
Consider this puzzle solved.
I mean, I kind of thought that might be the case just because it's like a funny little puzzle solution. It's like, whoa, the appraiser actually got the most expensive one. He got more than the little brother or whatever. But it's like, you know, you still got to actually math it out. That's right. The appraiser receives painting E. The older brother inherits paintings A, C, and D, which are worth 120,000 total. The little brother gets a single painting worth 60,000, half of what his brother gets. In the end, the appraiser takes home the most expensive painting of all. My, isn't that convenient? I suppose so. Nicely answered, Luke. Perhaps it didn't seem like the ideal time for a puzzle, but being able to stand back and think critically in a time of stress is a skill of utmost importance. I appreciate the sentiment, Professor, but right now solving puzzles is the last thing on my mind. True. True and pretty based. Now that is one heck of a chandelier. Yes, it is. Wait, so are we supposed to stay to investigate? I don't know what else. Oh shoot, Katya's here. What? Oh, I do believe that's Katya? Oh. Why are you two here? I could ask you the same thing. It's dangerous here. There's a vampire living in this castle, you know. What are you, stupid? You put yourself in danger? You're just like Flora. It's laying in her. It is interesting that she's here. Anton? He's no vampire. He's just... I'm quite puzzled, Katya. What do you know about this man? It's not for me to say. Well, then maybe you should go die in a hole. Besides, right now you must focus all your efforts on escaping. If you linger here, the madness will grip you before long. Madness. Okay, the madness. So I wonder if the madness is related to the Elysian box, or maybe like the strange ore that they found. Maybe it's not being a vampire, just about being like mad. I'm afraid I don't understand. Please be honest with us. What's happening here? Very well. I'll explain everything. Even the things I said that weren't my place to say earlier. But first you must get as far from this castle as possible. Quickly.
I know the way out. Follow me.
Okay.
How are you related to this entire situation? Are you?
There's no time. You've got to get out of here.
And then we succumb to the madness. Yeah, look at him sprinting.
This won't do. People are trying to sleep, you know.
Who's people?
You? It can't be.
Is it you? No, it's not.
How I've waited. It's been so unbearably long.
Professor, do you know what he's talking about?
Not
Yes,
in
I
the
do.
slightest.
Come closer, my dear sweet Sophia. I've missed you
Oh, her name's
so.
Sophia. I always thought it was Sophie.
What's this? Very well, then. Is this how it is? I didn't see this coming, Layton. Not at all.
I'm not sure I understand.
This is your fault, but you can't have my Sophia. You're going to
Well,
be very
you
sorry
can't either,
you
'cause she's
crossed
dead.
me.
God, and now you have a
There's
sword
no
fight?
lack of swords here. Take whichever one you like. Know this, though. Only one of them is real.
Oh my god, it's a
A
puzzle.
true warrior always keeps his blade in hand.
This is insane. There's no way. Grab the ultra great sword. True warrior always keeps his blade in hand. I mean, it's obviously the one that the guard is holding on to, right? Like, these are Anton's last words to Professor Layton before the start of their duel. Can you find the one real sword among Anton's collection? Circle your selection to draw your weapon of choice. Amazing.
This should do the trick. Ha! Wonderful.
Wonderful. Nicely done. A true warrior always keeps his blade in hand. Anton's words were a subtle hint that all the swords in the wall were for show. The only real sword in the bunch is the one sitting in the hand of the suit of armor. Alright, I'm excited. Let's see the sword fight. I wish it was a little bit higher res.
I didn't think you had it in you, Mr. Layton.
My god. These games are so stupid, but they're kind of amazing. What is even going on here? Oh my god.
Sophia belongs to me.
Madness is gripping him.
Something strange is happening. I just need to catch my breath.
Is it the madness?
No more! Please, just stop!
What is going on?
What's happened to me?
Are you all right?
Please just stop, Grandfather. Your body can't take it.
What did you say? I don't understand. Sophia, dear.
You haven't figured it out, have you? You really don't know. Then I guess it's up to me to tell you the truth.
I'm not
your
Sophia.
Daughter, Anton.
Don't be ridiculous. Look at me. I'm too young to be anyone's grandfather.
That's what I'm been thinking, bruh.
But what you see around you isn't real. It's just an illusion created by your own mind.
Are we inside his head?
Your youth is part of that illusion. The truth is, well...
Allow me, please.
Layton has it already figured out? Are you for real? Oh my
The gold
god.
mine built by your father, the late Duke Herzen, brought this town much growth and prosperity. But something terrible slept deep within that rich gold deposit.
A giant hole.
Unbeknownst to the miners, they hit a vein of hallucinogenic gas while digging for gold.
Bro. Are you for real right now?
The gas made those who breathed it extremely susceptible to mental suggestion of all types. Tales of the nightmarish visions seen in Folsense then spread, as did the town's sinister reputation. In truth, neither the Folsense we see before us nor its residents really exist.
Layton, please.
This is all a creation of our minds.
How did you figure it all out, Professor?
The images of Folsense we saw are 50 years old, yet they show a town identical to the Folsense of today. No town can remain unchanged for 50 long years. The photos we saw in the train station formed our impression of the Folsense we'd see. The Folsense of 50 years ago.
Enough of this madness. Folsense is real. I'm real.
Yeah, you're really old.
None of it's real, Grandfather. This town is just a thin shadow, an illusion born of greed. You and Sophia, everything you know changed 50 years ago.
So this is going to be Katya and Folsense Station mystery solved. Katya is the granddaughter of Sophia and Anton. Katya set out for Folsense to make sure that Anton understood Sophia's true feelings and reasons for leaving. I kind of knew that already. The hallucinogenic gas present in Folsense's air caused Layton and the others to imagine the station as it was in the many photographs lining the corridor leading out of the building.
But you and I are betrothed. How can you just leave me here? I won't have it.
This whole town is cursed. If we remain here, all those dear to me will die.
Am I not dear to you, Sophia? Stay with me, and we'll rebuild Folsense together.
I'm sorry, Anton, but there's someone else I love who needs me even more than you.
Oh my god, he thought that she was talking about like another dude or something, but she was actually talking about their daughter or son or child.
Is that the real reason you want to go? Because there's someone else? I trusted Sophia, and she left me for another.
You've got it all wrong, Grandfather. She never betrayed you.
Why didn't she just say that she was like pregnant?
What?
What?
The other she was talking about was the little life growing inside her.
This could have all been avoided by not having a terrible miscommunication, just speaking.
The life you two created together.
No. That can't be.
What do you mean that can't be? Is there something we should know?
I'm sorry, Anton, but there's someone else I love who needs me even more than you.
I never knew. Sophia was...
That's right. Grandmother was carrying my mother, and she left Folsense to keep her safe.
Oh, greatest plot twist
She
ever.
kept the baby a secret to avoid causing you more pain.
Uh-huh. I guess so.
I've been so wrong.
Maybe I guess because she knew Anton wouldn't leave regardless.
Grandmother passed away last year, but she was always talking about you, even toward the end.
I want to see old man Anton.
She never stopped loving you.
Anton invented the whole vampire scheme to scare off those who would try to loot the Herzen fortune. He did this by whisking away all those who came too close to the castle and setting them free to run away once properly scared. Oh, okay, yeah. So it was intentional that he left the ropes loose.
Sophia is dead? No, it can't be.
And I'm 80 years old.
I've had enough of your lies!
Oh, no!
Grandfather, no!
My god, he is a powerful old man. Oh my god, and it's gonna create the hole in the ground that like makes the entire castle crumble because it's already unstable.
We must leave now.
The whole place is starting to crumble.
Come with me.
What's this? What's happening?
Come on, Grandfather, we have to get out of here.
Be careful.
Layton's like, Katya, please just leave him behind. He is not worth it. This is not the first time that that's happened in this series. Like they reused the same animation from the first game. Oh my god, he's got hops for an old guy. I guess it's not hops. What do you call it? Running shoes? He's got a good pair of running shoes. What? Oh, it closed up the hole, so now there's no more hallucinogenic gas. Amazing. Oh my god, he is really old.
It seems I've found the answers I was searching for. Here, allow me to return this to you.
Okay, why does the Elysian box kill everyone that opens it? Is it because of the hallucinogenic gas?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, the box wasn't cursed after all.
No, Luke, there's no curse to be found here. But if I were to guess, I suspect you'd find traces of that gas in the ore used to make this box.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
The same fumes that drove the town to ruin were released upon each person who opened the box. Those who opened the box expected death, and in doing so, fulfilled their own grim predictions.
I suppose it was just an ordinary box then.
So then why didn't we have anything happen to us when we opened it?
Oh, I assure you, it's far from ordinary. This box was crafted to hold the words of my heart.
He is too old now.
What do you mean?
The box contains a hidden message, one meant only for Sophia.
Oh, really?
Many years ago, I asked a traveler passing through town to deliver it to her. Unfortunately, the box's value made it a target for those hungry for wealth. And so it was stolen again and again, thus perpetuating the whole chain of sad events.
Or is that why Katya came looking for the box?
What? We checked the box. It was as empty as could be.
Ah, well that's because there's actually a second way to open it.
You have to press the frog.
The sun rises when you and I meet, and when the wind blows, you will know my heart. These old words are the key to understanding this box and what it means. Do you follow, boy?
No, I don't.
I think so. Let me give it a shot. The sun rises when you and I meet, and when the wind blows, you will know my heart.
Well, it is sunrise. 60 picrots. The sun rises when you and I meet, and when the wind blows, you will know my heart. These words are the key to opening the Elysian box. It's up to you to find a way to open the box and solve the final puzzle of our story. Oh my god, I'm supposed to blow into the mic. How? Oh no. Okay, input. How do I blow? Let me blow. No, dude. Microphone? Okay, I can put a microphone hotkey. Ah, blow into the microphone. Blow! Oh my god. Help. Okay, there we go. I cheated a little bit.
Just leave it to me.
I messed around with the set. I don't know if you could see that
Layton's
actually.
apprentice strikes
I didn't check
again.
to see if it was visible, but I messed around with the settings a little bit. Wonderful. What was the message that Anton left to his sweetheart all those years ago? The time has come to find out.
I did it.
Nice job. What? Oh, it's like a hidden
Oh.
compartment underneath or something.
What's the matter?
This isn't the letter I wrote. This is Sophia's handwriting.
Oh my god, she received it. And that's why Katya was looking for the box, so that she could bring it to Anton.
The box must have made it to her after all.
My dear Anton, are you well? I received your letter. Though I'd like nothing more than to see you again, I'm afraid I no longer have the strength to do so. You don't know how many times I've thought about you over the years. I often wonder if you hate me for what I did. Do you?
No.
When I decided to leave, I was carrying our child. I couldn't bear exposing that tiny life to such danger. I knew your father's position and understood you didn't have the option to leave with me. Even though I did the only thing I could, I'll always regret leaving you that way. But there's one bright spot in this sad story, and that is our lovely granddaughter, Katya.
Our actual daughter that I gave birth to was actually quite terrible, and I regretted leaving town to protect her.
My departure all those years ago has given you the chance to meet. Katya's mother died shortly after
Oh.
she was born.
Sorry.
But Katya grew up strong
My bad.
and sweet just the same. She reminds me of you every time she smiles. With her around, I could never forget about you, even if I wanted to. You've been in my thoughts since the day we parted.
Mm-hmm.
And now, though my time here is drawing to a close, I like to think we'll meet again on the other side. The thought of seeing your face warms my heart. Be well and be happy, my dear Anton. Goodbye. But just for now, your Sophia.
Oh, Sophia. I finally understand now.
It turns out that the Elysian box was crafted 50 years ago to carry a letter from Anton to his love Sophia. A gas present in the material used to make the box causes hallucinations in those who open it. These visions are how the rumors of a curse began. So then, did Sophia fall victim to those hallucinations or what?
Grandfather,
Grandfather? Yes, that's right. It has a nice ring to it.
Speak up, please. And he
I'm
crumbles
so
to the
happy
ground,
you met
dead.
My dear granddaughter.
you don't know how much this means to me.
Why does it mean anything to you? He's just some
It's been
goober.
so long, so very long, in fact, that I had forgotten what love even felt like. Instead, my love for Sophia was replaced by anger, and that anger completely blinded me. But now I can see the world clearly again. Thanks to you, my granddaughter.
I have 1 month left to live, though.
Are you listening, Sophia? I'll have to put off returning to your side for a while.
At least 1 month.
There's someone I need to get to know here first. Will you forgive me for making you wait just a little longer, my dear?
Wherever she is, I'm sure she's very happy for us.
So silly. That was too anime. I didn't get to read all the old diary entries, though. Well. Alright, where's Flora? Oh, okay. Katya's staying in Full Sense, I guess. Even though it's a completely dead ghost town. Was Nigel even real? How did he survive? Whatever.
And that was the tale of the Elysian box, a relic feared for the fatal curse it was said to carry. But when all was said and done, there was no curse sleeping under its gilded lid. Instead, the box was revealed for what it truly was.
A love letter.
A vessel created to carry the love of two kindred spirits through all of time. While terror brought the box its notoriety, in the end, its most powerful message was one of love.
Amazing. That's the ending. Okay. It was pretty abrupt. You know, we still don't really know what happened to Flora, but I'm gonna assume that she's safe somewhere. Alright. Well, what did I think of the game? I mean, it was good, I guess. I think that the mysteries were a lot more mysterious than the first games. Like the first game, it was kind of like I kind of knew what the deal was pretty early on in the game, I want to say. Whereas this one, I had no idea what was happening until the very end when they explained it. Although, to be fair, I feel like the kind of like plot twist at the end of this game was a lot more like outlandish than the first one. Where it's like, oh, it's all because of a hallucinogenic gas that they dug up in a hole. Also, like, so why did Dr. Schrader die? He just straight up had a heart attack because of the gas? I don't know. It's weird. This is weird. It doesn't really make sense. I'm not gonna lie. The game's story doesn't really make any sense. But that's okay. Oh, there's Flora. They got her back. They saved her. And Luke and Layton are ignoring her. As always. But overall, I mean, the puzzles were pretty fun, I would say. The characters were okay. I mean, they're really wacky, as always. But, yeah. The banters, I guess, between, you know, Luke and Layton were cool. Meh. This is how the Layton games go. I think that fight scene at the end was pretty cool, I won't lie. My god. Luke's trying to catch a peek. Yeah, like the animation, the cutscene at the end of Layton and Anton fighting, that was actually kind of cool, I won't lie. But it was definitely better than the first games. Like little animation at the end with it wasn't even a fight, really. Well, no, I guess it was. Oh my god, wait, the first game was so dumb. I just remembered what happened. Okay, that's horrifying. It was like they jumped off the tower with like a hang glider, and then they were avoiding like this dude in like a little helicopter. Oh my god, it was so dumb. But that's what I like most about these games, is how stupid they are. I think it's part of their charm. As well as the puzzles, of course. I enjoy the puzzles, personally. I like getting to flex my brain a little bit. Like, flex my muscles, not like, you know, whatever. You get the idea. Well, this is quite the long credit sequence. I guess not really. By modern day standards, this credit sequence is probably going to be quite short. Well, Anton and Beluga. I think they were brothers, right? Pretty old. So Beluga was, I mean, he was looking for the fortune. The fortune's gone now, though. There's no more fortune. Sammy's singing. Apparently the singing is terrible. Oh, he's fat again. Unlucky. We made him fit as a fiddle just for him to get fat immediately within a day. Yeah, honestly, even though the mystery was more mysterious in this game, the story made way less sense. So I don't know which game I prefer as far as story goes. I think I do like this game more in general. I think it was longer. I want to say it was longer, and there was like more interesting mechanic. Like that, even though I didn't really engage with the tea brewing mechanic because it was kind of like cringy. That was, oh my god, get this off my screen. That is terrifying. Luke's like, guess who? Layton's like, I think I know who that is. And Floor is about to succumb to the curse. Yeah, I do like this game more. The tea brewing mechanic was kind of cool. Oh, there's Nigel. So Nigel was real. He was just very old. And then the camera, I thought the camera thing was actually kind of interesting. Although I did end up missing the first picture. I don't know where the first photo was supposed to be taken. I thought I went to like every location, but I must not have. Here's the leasing box.
Come look at this article, you two.
Okay.
Huh? Miracle rescue saves beloved academic.
Oh my god, he didn't die.
So, the dog
That's
is
so
alive
stupid.
after all.
We'll visit him as soon as we return.
Laura's like, I don't know who that
Oh,
is.
but that might conflict with the symposium you have scheduled in London tomorrow.
Well then, I'll simply have to cancel.
Huh?
After all, Luke, one must always show gratitude to one's teachers. That's what a gentleman does.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Luke, show me gratification or gratitude. Something like that. I am your teacher after all, Luke. Okay. Cool. So Dr. Schrader didn't die. Amazing. Biggest plot twist of all. Oh my god, that was so loud for me. I think my audio broke on my computer. That happens a lot, actually. Wow, so they actually... Okay, yeah, I have to look this up. I looked it up earlier, but I'm going to look it up again because I'm curious. Professor Layton Wiki. I would like to know when these games... Okay. So this game didn't release in America until the third game was already out in Japan. So I am curious if this preview screen was shown in the original Japanese release or if they only showed it in the international version because they already knew what the Japanese version was. I was kind of talking about this earlier as well, where the first game had like a hint toward the second game where it was like, input the code from the hidden door in the second game and you will get a special reward or whatever. So I'm curious if that's why that was in there as well, if it was in the original Japanese release. In fact, they kept up this pattern for a while where the game didn't release internationally until the sequel had already released in Japan. That cycle didn't end up breaking until the 5th game in the series, which is, I don't know, a while from now. Oh my god, wait, what? I did not realize the crossover between Professor Layton and Phoenix Wright. That was in late 2012. That was actually before the 6th game in the Professor Layton series. But that game was the last to come to the international release out of all of them. So like it came out internationally after the 6th game had released it, which is interesting. And then you've got the 7th game, which came out in 2017 for 3DS, and then it later released for the Switch. And then there's a new game that is supposed to come out, apparently. Professor Layton and the New World of Steam, which is actually a sequel. That's interesting. I feel like I've talked about this before, but maybe I didn't. I might have just read this on the wiki. But, so, if you don't know, the first 3 games are a trilogy, and the next 3 games are actually a prequel trilogy, so they take place, before the first 3. But the newest game, the 8th game, supposedly is supposed to be a sequel to the original trilogy. So I guess we're coming back to the modern day, which should be fun. And also, I didn't really want to spoil it, but I'm going to mention it now, so close your ears if you don't want to be spoiled. But the 7th game, the one that came out in 2017 for 3DS and 2019 for Switch internationally, the main character is actually the daughter of Professor Layton, which is interesting. And I actually thought that they had planned to stop making Professor Layton, like Herschel Layton, the main character of the series. And I think they wanted to move forward with his daughter as the main character instead. But it seems like maybe they reneged on that. I'm not sure. Millionaire's Conspiracy. Layton's Mystery Journey. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. Herschel Layton does not appear in the game that stars his daughter in it. It's like an entirely new cast of characters. But I guess that game wasn't well received, so maybe they just gave up on it. And so instead he's going to show up in the new Layton series. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? Oh my god, there was an anime. They made a Professor Layton anime about his daughter. Interesting. And apparently it's a... I don't know, actually. I don't want to read too much about it in case it spoils something, but whatever. Oh shoot, I got spoiled for what happens in the next game. Oof. That's okay. I don't know. Experiential events. Reception. So what is the highest? Oh my god. Okay, yeah. The one that doesn't have Herschel Layton and has his daughter, that one is the lowest on Metacritic. Which, I don't know if that's because the game's actually bad or if it's just like, people like Professor Layton. Apparently the next game in the series, the Unwound Future slash Lost Future, is the most well received in the series. But it seems like all of them are at least 80 on Metacritic in game rankings, so they should all be good. Except for The one that doesn't have him in it. There's also a game called Layton Brothers Mystery Room. Oh, it's his son. Herschel Layton's son. So I guess they just wanted to get rid of him as a character or something. And just like make a bunch of people that are related to him. Interesting. They made a movie about it, bro. They made a freaking animated movie based on Professor Layton. That's insane. Why am I here, by the way? I should probably try to end stream soon. We hope you enjoyed Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box. Though you've reached the end of our story, the fun is just beginning. It seems that you solved 120 puzzles before beating the game. Your performance is near perfect. The story mode of this game contains 138 puzzles in total. If you haven't solved all of them already, try to find and complete them all. Also, check the bonuses section where you can unlock more content by fulfilling certain criteria. If you unlock enough stuff, you might even find some new and challenging puzzles. Have a great time playing through the rest of Professor Layton in the Diabolical Box. I got a new challenge. Since you've come to the end of the story, your game will now save. When you continue this game, you'll resume play inside Herzen Castle just before fighting Anton. From there, you're free to return to town and hunt after items and puzzles you missed. Cool, I'm probably not going to do that, but fair play. The option is there. Oh my god, this theme song, bro. It's banger after banger after banger. Got the golden Layton. Okay, let's see what the secrets are. Ah, okay, just little goodies. Lily. Sally. Sally's my favorite character in this game. Hank. Oh, okay, so Sally and Hank are friends. It's cool, I guess. Marjorie. I don't know if I ever talked to Marjorie. God, look at all these goofy characters. There's so many. I did not realize how many characters there were. Jesus. How many? The Molinary Express has a profile. Okay, I think there's like 6 pages of characters. That's way more than I thought. Amazing. Alright, and then we got some cool artwork. Dr. Schrader. Okay. Oh, these are all just like the images that they show randomly. I wonder if you can also do the I wonder if you can also unlock the cutscenes. I'm so close. I only need to do like one puzzle to unlock this. 3,500. This is the hidden door. Let's find the hidden door. Oh god. Use the password found within one of the other Professor Layton games to access special bonus material. Okay, the Curious Village. And then the sequel game. Oh god. I don't want to freaking do that. Maybe I'll conjure something together whenever I play the third game or something. Just for fun. Let's go and see what's in here. 8 cards. Let's see if this is an easy puzzle or not. Yeah, have a look at this puzzle. Who was that character at the top? Was that Anton? Oh lord, these cards numbered 1 through 8 can be used to make 2 multiplication equations. One is given here, but can you think of the second one? No, I can't. No. This puzzle's acting quite cantankerous, isn't it? Alright, let's go and just get out of here. Saving your game, do not power off. Alright, well, that was the end of this stream. It's been quite the journey. I thought this one would be quite a bit longer than the other Professor Layton game. Let me actually check to see how long it was. Professor Layton. Where's Professor Layton? Okay, so the other game took me 5 streams, and this one took me 6 streams. But I think maybe the other game streams were a little bit more varied in length compared to this one. This one, all the streams were about 2.5 hours, so... Whereas, like, the first one, I had a marathon stream that took me almost 4 hours, so they're about equal in length, actually, which is a little bit surprising. But I also think I took a little bit more time in the first game working on some of the puzzles, whereas this one, I think I gave up on some of the puzzles I didn't feel like doing. So, anyways, it's fun. I definitely like this series. It's been a good time. I'm looking forward to playing the third one. I can't promise that I'm going to play it anytime soon. In fact, I probably am not going to play it anytime soon. Just for the record. But, yeah, that is this game. As for what I'm going to be streaming next time, 2 days from now, on Thursday, that is a good question. I don't know what I'm going to play. I haven't decided yet. Might be a game that I have to buy. Might be a game that I have already. We'll see. It might be like a free game. Might be a paid game, story game, chill game, game. I don't really know. I'll figure that out before next stream though, because I'm gonna have to stream. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me for today's stream. I know I said that already, but I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you have a good rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever time it is for you, wherever you are in the world while watching this. And I hope to see you next time. And I hope you're looking forward to it, because I look forward to seeing you there. Alright? That's all. Let me close this. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye. Can't wave because I have no hand motion detection, but I'm waving in real life. Bye-bye.
You